Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 11th episode of your new favorite internet show, Visioncon Live. I'm your host, Zach Wilson, but you didn't come here to see me today. You came to see the man of the hour. He voices Jiraiya from Naruto, Kenpachi from Bleach, Jeralt from Fire Emblem Three Houses, just to name a few. He's one of the most talented and greatest men to ever walk the face of this earth. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome the one, the only, the legend, David Lodge. David, how you doing today?
Good morning, Zach. What a nice day to do this. I brought some Star Wars fans along right here. They could kill me at any moment. Hey, Mace. Hey,
Obi-Wan's looking like he's about to.
Yeah, Jedi Knight's ready to kill me. But it is I, Jiraiya, the pervy toad sage. Oh, yeah, baby. Let's do some research. Look at this, fans, huh? This is a knockoff of my Funko thing that's coming out, right?
Yeah.
And it's a little blow-up Jiraiya. You like it, huh? I got it from my friend. I got to give a shout-out. Boris in England went through a lot of trouble to send me this for my collection. So there we go.
It still blows my mind how detailed that is. Like, if you had told me that that was just an actual pop figure, and I mean, this is a testament to Boris, I mean, I would have believed you.
He went to some guy. Some illegal thing happened. I don't want to get into it. It's illegal.
Sure. But, ladies and gentlemen, before we kick this off, I just wanted to mention one quick thing. Now, if you're watching this later on YouTube, you'll already kind of realize this, but this episode is going to be a little bit shorter just because, you know, some scheduling and some other stuff, but that just means it's going to be more action-packed. So, without further ado, David Lodge.
Thank you so much. I'm not wearing pants.
Of course. Well, like I mentioned earlier, David, you know, you were one of the most talented voice actors to ever walk the face of this earth. If you look on IMDb, guys, which the link is in the live chat if you're watching live, or in the description below if you're watching on YouTube, you have over 300 actors credits.
Wow.
So I just got to ask, David.
Sure.
How do you do it? Like, I do a lot of research for all of these guests that I interview, and I was a fan of yours ever since Naruto, but it turns out I was a fan of you for a lot more than just, you know, Bleach, Naruto, Fire Emblem, Tuttenstein, because you are so great at just voicing, giving all of these characters unique voices to the fact that they're indistinguishable from one another. So if somebody had told me before I did all this research, hey, the guy who voices Set from Tuttenstein and Jiraiya from Naruto is the same person, I would look that person dead in the eyes and say, I don't appreciate being lied to. So I just wanted to ask kind of, how do you give each of these characters that you voiced throughout the years such a unique voice?
Well, I grew up on a distant planet called Voxania, where everyone's a voiceover actor and there's no garbage pickup as a result. Food is bad. Everything else is a hobby, and everyone on the planet, men, women, children, are all voiceover actors. And so I had to get the hell out of there. I said, where can I go? And I saw this little marble. It was like, I guess it's Earth. Yeah. And I had a mission kind of thing. Like, while I was sleeping, my whole body was sent here. Anyway, that's a long story, and I don't want to get into it because it gets sexual at some point, and there's kids watching. But anyway, I arrived, and I saw that there was a lack of voiceover talent in Los Angeles, that there was no one doing it. And I figured, hey, no, that's a lie. What's going on?
Came to the right place.
No. You want me to talk about, what was the question? Like how I do it?
Oh, you're fine. How you just give such unique and breathe life to all of these characters throughout the years while keeping them indistinguishable from one another for the most part.
Well, dearie, you see, it's a bit of a trick. Sometimes I even get to play old women.
It's very rare, but it happens. It comes down to, kids and everybody watching, you know, you either have a natural ability for this or you acquire one, hopefully, from doing constant exercises with your voice.
Like I just did as the old grandma.
Now, that's a lady that I played on Team Hot Wheels a few years ago. Shout out to Verite Entertainment, Renee and Donald, who produced the show. And we had 2 seasons and a movie, and great cast. I don't have time to go into all the names of the other people who I love, but I got to play a cool kid who's like 10. His name is Rhett. And he's like cool, and wow, what are we gonna do? And he's really high pitched. So you say, well, I'm 60 and I'm getting cast to play a 10-year-old. wow, you know? And then I go, well, what other roles do you have for me? Because I'm getting bored with just the kid. That's usually what happens with me. And they gave me the dog, you know, so I do the dog. Yeah, scary. You know, dog, different sizes. And so I got Rolo, and then I got, I'm not answering the question. That's okay, because it's all about me. Now, after I got cast as Rhett, the 10-year-old kid race car driver for Team Hot Wheels, they were going to actually cast a woman for the grandma thing, and I started goofing around doing the voice at the session, and they just were laughing, and they said, you got the role. Much to the anger of a good friend of mine that happens to be female. So, but how often do I get to play old women? You know?
Exactly. That's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
Right. So to answer your question, and then I'll be quiet for a second, it really is about a natural ability to have this flexibility to do little kid voices or monsters, you know, to go that range. So that's kind of it.
Well, okay. I did want to take it a step further, though, because not only do you voice such a wide range of characters, and if you want, ladies and gentlemen, if we're watching right now, again, in the live chat or on YouTube, go ahead and do yourself a favor. This link will also be in the live chat and in the YouTube description. Go ahead and follow David Lodge on Twitter, because he goes into depth with all sorts of characters that he voices. And a lot of characters that some people don't know. And even more, a lot of people don't know this, you actually voice multiple characters in shows that actually converse with one another. The one that comes to mind is in Tuttenstein, Luxor and Set. I mean, they converse all the time. And so I just wanted to ask, there's obviously a difficulty with that. And so how are you able to keep each individual voice in mind and just do it flawlessly one after the other?
Well, there's a very simple answer. I put my phone on vibrate and I get a little, you know, and that keeps me excited. Electrical stimulation can help with the process. But it's years of training. They don't want just voices. Let me just tell everybody, as you probably know from all the conventions you've gone to, when you get hired by a casting director, producer, writers, all this, they're not looking just for somebody to do like, hey, I got a voice. They want acting involved, and they have to be able to keep the voice consistent and separate. One show that's great right now that you should tune into, because it's the height of what actors want to do in town, is to work like for Disney on something like Goldie and Bear, which I did last couple of years. And I got to play like 5 different characters, some of whom talk to each other. And it was an honor, you know, and there's other guys in town and gals that can do the same thing. That's why the best of the best are here. But it's years of training to do that. And we record, out of preference, the characters separately. And then they put the cartoon together. And I request that too. They go, do you want to run the page where you, for example, I play Sir Reginald. I am Sir Reginald. Yes, but of course. And he has another knight that's in his group called Sir Kenneth. And I talk like this. Oh, my Goldie, what are we going to do? And then there's another knight, and they all talk together at the same time. But we record them separately. They used to record the sessions, and you'd have the script, and they still do this sometimes, where you're jumping from character to character. Most of the time, they don't like to dish out too many roles to one actor because A, you can get sick with COVID and not be available. Or B, they want to spread it around. Or C, you get lucky, like me, and they go, this guy's great for all these roles. Let's give him a shot. You know, he's here. Let's work him. And I become what they call a utility player. Have you heard that before?
I have, actually. I believe Kyle Hebert used that term.
Yeah, utility means like a Swiss Army knife. And so I go in and I'll give you some samples here. So my first character that I got hired for was the Magic Gnome. Zapparino, you're a toadstool. He's a little guy about this big with a beard and a funny hat. What? What was I saying? So he's that way. And then you got Sir Reginald, who's down here. Very officious, yes. And Sir Kenneth, I say, I'm just a bit of a dandy. Aren't I? And then we got hired for the shoe cobbler, who was the magic gnome, the first guy's, his cousin. So he would talk more high-pitched. And he would be like,
I'm the shoe cobbler. Oh, my cousin's here. I better make some shoes. Anyone else want a pair? What smells? Are you wearing cheese?
You know, so that's sort of what happens. To answer your question, you get lucky and you record these things separately, and then when they put it together, it sounds really great. Mm-hmm. And shout out to Maria Estrada, one of the best directors. Once again, Maria Estrada, who works for Disney and other places in town here. Fantastic director. I'm grateful for her. If it wasn't for her, I wouldn't have been cast. So she's terrific. And children's cartoons, those are the hardest things to do. Cause, can you guess why, Zach? Why children's cartoons?
Because kids are so brutally honest that they won't pull any punches?
That's good, yeah. Sincerity, you have a story, you have to sing in these shows. Ooh, I had to sing. Lots of fun. And there has to be comedy. There also has to be tension and drama. There's a certain pace to the shows, and there's a rhythm to the shows. So it's way harder than the other show I want to talk about while I'm eating. How rude. What the hell? How'd you get this guy? Team Hot Wheels is more high energy show. A lot of the Cartoon Network shows are kind of like that, where you just have wild characters, you know, and the acting's there, but it's a certain style, you know. With Disney, behavior, dimension, wide dimension of characters is much more important. So each studio has their own flavor and taste, you know, like if you want, you know, loud, crazy, you go to you know, not all the time, I'm just generalizing, but you can go to Nick or you can go, you know, to Cartoon Network. But Disney is the king, queen of, you know, behavior, of real acting, of dimensions and stuff like that, because that's their market. So, you know, then you have Family Guy, which is real but has a lot of comedy for adults, you know. So
yeah. It's a work of satire for the most part.
Exactly. So that's comic delivery timing. Mind you, all the people out there want to become actors or want to become voiceover talent. Remember, first, you got to become an actor. So you got to go, where, Zach?
To acting classes.
What? Ding, 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 ding. You win. Yeah.
Nailed it.
Yep. You have to be a good actor. And then the voices. It doesn't matter how many voices you do if you can't act. Woo! Wow, that's hurting.
That was powerful.
One other character. Oh, by the way, I got to play this little guy on the Disney show too. This is, let me put it up to the camera. This is Bailey. Let me tell you this funny story about this.
For sure.
So here I am playing the Magic Gnome. Oh, yes, the Knights. And then one of the producers said, oh, we got a pig. We need you to come up with a pig voice. Oh, and I want to tell you who it is. I want you to have this pig, Bailey, one of the three little pigs. He must sound like Owen Wilson. And I was going, I'm on the mic going, luckily, dude, I do like an Owen Wilson, man. Isn't that convenient, dude? So, like, you know, I did like Bailey, kind of like, you know, like an Owen Wilson kind of thing. So, luckily, I mean, I could have just said, I don't do Owen Wilson. Can we do something else? But luckily, how would you like that pressure? Hey, you're going to do this character, and you're going to do it with this voice. Go.
I mean, that must be so stressful sometimes, isn't it?
Yeah, it is stressful. That's why I, you know, keep my jockey shorts tight, just to feel like I'm alive.
Always ready. I didn't hear no bell, ref. But what's up?
What's next?
Well, I did want to ask, because you actually set me up perfectly for this next question.
I'm trying to see if you're wearing underwear. All right.
Oh yeah, no, fully wearing pants.
Oh wow. Okay. All right. Very good. Keep it safe. Keep it clean.
What's up?
Yeah.
Oh,
nothing.
So you already kind of set me up for this because you just listed a bunch of characters that you voiced over the years. I did want to know, out of all of them, again, ladies and gentlemen, IMDb, over 300 acting credits, what are some of the characters that have kind of stuck with you over the years that have really, you know, stood the test of time with you and kind of has a special place in your heart?
Well, I liked, when I was doing anime, you might know Digimon, the original Digimon.
Yeah.
There was Puppetmon. What a cute character. He has, if you guys go Google Puppetmon, if you're unfamiliar, he has a big marionette X on his back and a big pointy nose and a hat. And I came up with this spoiled, bratty kid voice for him.
I'm Puppetmon. I'm going to be evil.
So it turns out he's evil with a kid voice.
And he goes around creating trouble.
So that was kind of fun. Then I got to be Russian Superman a few years ago for Motion. Yeah.
Yes.
Superman Red Sun. And so that was serious acting. And so I had to be Superman with a Russian accent and very real. when I left Krypton, my ship fell into the Soviet Union. You know, so it was a totally different play on Superman. He became Russian, so that was cool. But I guess, Zach, Jiraiya has to be up there, right? Because the fans love him. Yeah?
I mean, I asked you, not the fans.
Yeah. Jiraiya's great. Why? I think it's pretty obvious. He's very silly. The original Japanese actor is terrific, too. But it's kind of a kabuki character, right? Wouldn't you agree? Yeah. What do you like about Jiraiya, though? I'm interviewing you now.
Oh, you're interviewing? Okay, so now I'm the interviewee. I really like Jiraiya because growing up, he was very much so a father figure to Naruto, you know, among others. But I don't know, something about Jiraiya was just always very comforting. You could always depend on him to both make you smile, but also to be there for you when you needed him. And I've said this once, said it 1,000 times. You know, the Japanese voice actors always do a phenomenal job. Don't get me wrong. However, I grew up on the English dub of Naruto, and so all the way through, I would wait, even though it was out in Japanese, I would wait until each of the box sets for the dub of Naruto was released. So a lot of stuff I was surprised about. And so when, slight spoiler for Naruto, but enough time has passed, when you know what happened, I was crushed. I know. Oh, I mean, I'd like to say it was just one tear, David, but it was definitely more than it was sobbing. So
but I'm alive in reruns. That's the good news.
Oh, 100%.
On Netflix, by the way. Tune in, Netflix.
But you just breathe so much life into these characters that we do get personally attached to them. And so, you know, it's just really just a testament to your own skill. So that's what Jiraiya meant to me.
You know what? You're not the first person, Zach, and you're terrific, by the way. Thanks for interviewing me today. You're such a nice guy. I want the fans to know that I don't usually respond or do public appearances because I'm either too busy or I hate really talking about myself. That's why I like talking about the process and the art. But Zach's a hell of a nice guy, and you should tune in, tell everybody about this. Back to Naruto.
I'm recording this, right? Yes, I am. Okay, cool.
Jiraiya, I get people calling up and saying, I didn't have a father. And I watched Naruto. And you know Jiraiya can be really silly with the research and the hot tubs and his novels. And then deadly serious. What a contrast. And I have to thank Mary Elizabeth, who was the director on this. She's just really, really put her heart and soul into it. And all the other people, Jamie at Studiopolis. A lot of people come in to make this work, especially the writers, because it's dubbed. But together we worked in concert, and I was able to bring the craziness, which is really hard, and the seriousness to something I got a loop. But back to your question, if I may. A lot of people say that I didn't have a father and I wasn't sure what to do with my life or how to act. And Jiraiya, in a way, for a lot of people, is somebody that they look up as a mentor, and they see the relationship, which is very real, with Naruto, who's so sweet. Miley does such a great job.
Yes.
So you have a show that is really emotes a lot and still so popular, and it's been wrapped for a while, as you know. So yeah, Jiraiya's up there. Yeah. But there's many more that I love.
Of course. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we've got one final segment before we wrap these things up. Ladies and gentlemen, prepare yourselves. We're in the plug zone.
Oh, David, okay. I thought I was getting a gift.
David Lodge, now is your time to promote, advertise, plug, whatever verb you want to use. Yourself, any projects, anything you want. The floor is yours.
Okay. Well, let's see. I wrote something down. First of all, I want you all to go to Twitter and, follow me. That way I get to keep working when the silly producer says, oh, he's only got one follower.
We'll use someone else.
So go to Twitter to at David Lodge Vopro. I had to look. I can't remember anything.
Link is in the chat and down below in the description.
Yeah. And then let me see. I wrote something down. Let me see if I can remember where it's at on my script here.
Absolutely.
Yeah, here we go. I want to plug Remnant because I just worked on that in expansion. And then next week, I'll be recording Jiraiya, the Pervy Toad Sage, on a new video game. Oh, yeah. Plenty of research. So I'll be doing that. Most of the stuff I really can't talk about because it's NDA. But I wanted to mention another show that my great friend Erica Escamas from Mexico directed me on. It's called the Torchlight series, a video game, and Endless Dungeons is coming out, where I play a genie. And that's going to be released in September, I think. And then a whole bunch of other cool cartoons and animated films and games that I can't talk about. So that's it.
All right.
Can we do this again?
I'm sorry?
Can we do this some other time and I'd love to hear from the fans.
We absolutely will. So, ladies and gentlemen, like David Lodge mentioned, this is a bit of a shorter episode due to, some scheduling stuff, but we will have David Lodge back for you guys to answer your questions and comments. But until then, ladies and gentlemen, this has been episode 11 of Visioncon Live. David, before we wrap things up, anything you want to leave on before we leave?
Oh, I will be appearing August 32nd at the Pandemicon in Wuhan, China, at the open market, the meat market there. I will be appearing, and I will be giving away, I don't have N95 because they're hard to get. I have baby diapers like this. It's not used. Later, I get to use this when I get a little older, like a Depends kind of thing. But anyway, I will be at Pandemicon. You have to wear a lot of stuff.
Sure.
August 32nd, Wuhan, China, the wet market. Sorry, that was probably inappropriate, but I do it anyway.
You're fine.
See me there.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this has been episode 11 of Visioncon Live. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. Real quick, some housekeeping stuff before we leave. Join us Sunday at 7 o'clock for the one and only voice actress Danny Chambers, and then that following Monday for 7:30 p.m. for the one and only Wally Wigbert, and a special announcement for everybody watching. We're going to announce this later, but something for everybody watching. You actually mentioned this voice actress earlier that I'm overjoyed to announce. A one Miley Flanagan, voice of Naruto.
Yeah.
July 21st. We're still sorting out a time, but we will announce it right when we do. But I wanted to give you guys a sneak preview. But so until then, my name's Zach, and much more importantly, this is David Lodge. You guys have a wonderful rest of your day, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks, fans.